What is going on, everybody? This is Jason Alexander Pleasant, your Pleasant Nickelodeon fan, and I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of what I like to call Nick Picks. So, guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. It's really an honor for you guys to be here, and I am really excited right now. I am really excited because today we got a very special guest in the building right now. He is here right now. He's been a Nickelodeon legend since the early 2000s, from Slime Time Live to Nick Gas to Nickelodeon's Robot Wars. Everybody, put your splatting hands together for my good friend and best Nickelodeon legend in the building, Dave Aizer!
Jason, how are you, man?
I am doing great, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I have to tell you, I've been interviewed by a lot of people. I have not gotten an introduction like that in a long time. You please be my personal hype man and just come with me everywhere.
I would love to do that. I cannot believe that you, a Nickelodeon legend, is actually in here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Woo! Man, I am really excited for you to come up. And we also have another guest in this stream here. He's one of my fellow patrons. He's been a longtime patron ever since he joined. I would like to meet my very good friend, Hunter Brown, a.k.a.
Hello, Dave Aizer. How are you?
Good, Hunter. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. And thank you, Jason, for having me here as well.
No problem, Hunter. It's no problem.
Can I say something to Dave Aizer? The funny thing is, I didn't actually know who you were until Jason actually revealed that you were coming on to the first episode of Nitpicks. And I learned of Slime Time Live through Wikipedia, so that's how I found out about you. So I proceeded to watch Slime Time Live on YouTube, and it was pretty good. It was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for watching it on YouTube. Yeah, you're a little too young to have seen it when it first came out in the early 2000s.
That's right.
But I'm thrilled, thanks to the wonderfulness of YouTube, that it lives on and you're able to see it now.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Well, we got a hello from my best friend Ryan Boyd, aka Caloric Lunar 9 Productions. So welcome to the stream.
Ryan, hey Ryan, what's up?
Thank you so much. If you have some questions for either Dave, me, or Hunter here, feel free to leave them in the comments. But I gotta tell you, we gotta keep this at like 45 minutes or something, because Dave here, he's got a client at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Now, speaking of that, he went from Nickelodeon to be a public speaker. So how did you get so into that?
I have loved being on camera and on stage since I was a kid. It started off with doing musicals in middle school and theater all through high school, and then television in high school, and then in college, and then obviously my whole career. I've always loved performing, and a few years ago, I figured I've accumulated a lifetime's worth of experiences on stage and on camera, so it made sense to me that I would start teaching people. So while I'm still hosting down here in South Florida, still on TV, I'm also now a public speaking and media coach, and I help people of all ages feel more comfortable and confident when they're on television, when they're on stage, when they're giving speeches, when they're sitting on panels, doing video conferences, and it's been super rewarding and a whole lot of fun.
Wow.
I took a public speaking class when I was in community college. I graduated this year, and I could be so sure that I would have gotten an A+ if I learned a thing or two from you.
How was your class? Did you enjoy the experience?
I did. It was nice.
Yeah, public speaking is, maybe not for you two guys, but for a lot of people, public speaking is really scary. And when I say public speaking, I mean all of its forms: on camera, on stage, on TV, whatever. So I know for many people, the thought of doing this is terrifying. But I'm very impressed with both of you guys. Very poised, very, very much in charge. Well done.
Oh, thank you so much. You got to give props to my man right here. I mean, so how did he contact you in order to do this thing?
Well, Hunter, it's kind of a funny story. We actually contacted through Facebook. I asked him.
Okay.
I asked him if he would be part of this little episode here, and here we are. It's
all right then.
Pretty much official.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
and again, I have to tell you, Jason, your enthusiasm since moment one of this, you have really made me feel wanted and have made me feel special. So I'm honored to be on your show. You know, my wife was looking at our correspondence too, and she's like, "This guy seems like a really good dude." So you do seem like a really good dude. So I'm happy to be on your show.
That's why I wear the Nickelodeon garments, my friend. That is why I wear them. I've been a huge fan of Nickelodeon ever since the late 90s, including 99. Hey, speaking of the Nickelodeon days, what was your personal favorite moment from that time?
So many to choose from. I think for me, you know, Slime Time was such a magical, wonderful show. And as you mentioned, I was also the host of Nick Gas and also Robot Wars. But Slime Time was the big one. It was live. It was every afternoon. It was a studio audience at Universal Studios. It was just incredibly fun. And I think I could give you 50 episodes that I love, but you know, it's got to be the first one. The first one we ever did, the first time we ever went live. I was young. I don't know. I was like 23 or something like that, whatever. And here I am doing live national TV. And you know, when you work on a TV show, you form a really close bond with your co-host and with the crew because you're all in it together. You're all working really hard to make a great product. And to go live is really tough to do. A lot of things have to happen correctly. Look, there's just 3 of us on this chat, and there's a lot of stuff that has to happen with technology. Imagine a whole national television show going live and all the things that have to cooperate. And this is 20 years ago when the technology's not as good. So I think just the feeling of nailing it, you know, just starting strong and being live and having a really good first segment. I'm so proud of that. And, you know, we were all so happy to be there for each other. That's probably in 20 years of TV, my favorite memory, period, of anything I've ever done.
Okay.
Sounds interesting. And
You know,
speaking of Robot Wars, I was planning to share a little clip from that time from one of the best episodes out there, the Annihilator competition. The Annihilator competition. I gotta hand it to you, my man. This episode really got me going.
Please welcome the Master of Mayhem, Dave Aizer.
Welcome to Nickelodeon Robot Wars. Today, a multi-bot battle of epic proportions, the Annihilator competition. It's a free-for-all. We start off with 5 robots, all in the arena at the same time, all trying to survive and move on to the next round. In each round, 1 robot will be eliminated until all but 1 are gone. That robot will be named the Annihilator champion. Let's go down to the pits and get the mood from Vivian. Viv.
Oh, wow.
So geez. Oh,
Been a long
I'm sure
time.
that brings back memories.
you still keep in touch with her?
On Facebook, yeah. You know, we shot those in London.
Wow.
That was
London? Oh my goodness! I did not know that.
Yeah, that was really neat. I was doing Slime Time. Slime Time was going well, and the couple of the executive producers asked me if I would host Robot Wars and do it in London. And I think I said yes before they finished the sentence. I was like, yes, I'm in. Yes, definitely. Let's go. When are we leaving?
No hesitation.
So that's how you got into hosting Nickelodeon's Robot Wars.
Yeah, I was doing Slime Time. Slime Time was going great. And Vivian was my co-host on Nick Gas, Games and Sports. And I was doing Nick Gas and Slime Time, both of them on the same, every day. I did both. So I would host with Vivian in the morning, and then I would host Slime Time in the afternoon. And then they asked us both to go to do Robot Wars. So, I mean, what a just awesome experience.
It must have been a busy day,
I
huh?
guess so.
Yes. A lot of hosting, a lot of talking.
Wow. For my vote, since you're already a professional speaker, I'd say rest your voice for a little bit. But anyway, you're a professional. That's what I like about you. Keeping things at bay.
Yeah.
Do what I can. You know, I got really bad laryngitis during those years from doing Nick Gas in the morning, Slime Time in the afternoon. Slime Time was a loud show. I mean, you've seen it.
Oh my God! That takes me back so many memories. I used to binge watch Slime Time live ever since I think it was in the Fairly Odd Parents age.
Yeah.
I think it was the age of the Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I watched it yesterday.
Invade Earth. If you were going to invade Earth, what would you do to Earth? What would you change about Earth?
I turn the whole Earth green.
You turn the whole Earth green. Well, how would you know when to stop mowing your lawn? Yes, sir. Come on over here, Kristen. Time to meet your partner.
Believe it or not, I cannot. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Aizer still has that great hairstyle to this very.
I've been lucky. I've kept it on my head. I've been very lucky. Yes.
Yeah.
But looking at that episode of Slime Time, that was our indoor rainy day set. So we had an indoor set, we had an outdoor set, and we wanted to be outside because it was bigger. It just feels a little different to be outside. But doing that show in Orlando, middle of the day, I mean, sometimes it was like insane thunderstorms. And there's no way to be outside, so we had the air-conditioned indoor set too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jason, what room of Nickelodeon Studios was that?
Oh, I can't remember, but I did remember watching Slime Time Live in the outdoor set. Is this what you're talking about, Dave?
Yeah, this is the outdoor set.
Yeah,
There's Jessica.
Oh yeah. And there was Jonah too, right?
Jonah was there also, yeah. And that contraption that she's in, we call that the Mail-O-Matic. And we would spin them around, and in there were a whole bunch of letters from kids at home who, they mailed in letters to us, and we would read them on camera, like fan mail and stuff. Super, super cool. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's been a long time, and those letters also were the contestants that we would pick. So it would be like, a letter from Sarah from Milwaukee, and then she'd be on the phone. It's funny. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Must have been a great time to travel back to memory lane, huh, Dave?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, I know we've been talking a lot, but do you have any questions for either of us? Do you have any questions for either of us? Do you have any questions for either of us? Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Are you asking me?
I'm asking the fans.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But anyways, be warned, Dave. There might be some fans who might be asking some questions that are not Nickelodeon related. So just keep that in mind. Right. Hold on. We got a question from Super Daniel Taylor. Can you do a play along to Barney's Good Day, Good Night? Well, that may not be Nickelodeon related, but I don't know what we're gonna do with the play along gang. I think I might have to talk to the rest of the gang about that, but we'll see. And Bradley Brown. Listen, guys. He's been a little bit of a troublemaker, but I'm just gonna answer this one question for him. So bear with me, okay? Have you ever heard of Bear in the Big Blue House live on tour, crossover surprise birthday party? Believe it or not, Bradley, I have seen it, and I'll give you my honest opinion. It was, all right. It was, all right. Now, guys, we gotta keep the questions Nickelodeon related because we all know that Dave Aizer is here. Anyways, what would be your favorite message to give when you're doing public speaking?
Oh, that's a great question. Boy, it depends on the speaker because everybody has different challenges when they speak. Some people get super nervous. Some people talk really fast. Some people talk really slowly. Some people say, So for everybody, it's different. I think the best bit of advice I would give you is to rehearse and prepare. It's very scary to go up there on stage or on camera if you haven't put any thought into what you're going to say. It's really hard to open your mouth and have magical stuff come out. So if you're going to give a speech, if you're going to host a show, if you're going to do whatever, you certainly should spend a little time ahead of time rehearsing. And not just rehearsing like writing stuff down on a note card and looking at it. That's not rehearsing. Rehearsing is this. Rehearsing is pressing record on your phone or on your computer and practicing. And then watching it and having somebody else who you respect watch it also and say, okay, what do you think? How did I do? And then, having some open, constructive, positive feedback and implementing that and then doing it again. So I think the short answer is no one's going to be exceptional at this if they don't put in the hard work and the rehearsal and the preparation.
Exactly.
So rehearse a little bit more. That's what you suggest, right?
Like, for example, so for you guys as hosts of this show, I think that'd be good practice for you, and I certainly did this all the time back when I was hosting Nickelodeon. I still do it. I think it'd be good practice for you guys to watch this and, you know, look at it and go, okay, we did this really well. Oh, we could probably do this a little smoother. Oh, maybe you should say, you know, it's hard when you have a co-host like you guys and you're not in the same room. It's really hard because who talks when? How do I know if he's going to talk? What do I say? So there's some technique that any co-host could use to indicate to the other person that, hey, I'm going to talk next, or hey, set me up like this. And all of that happens in practice.
Sounds good. Okay, we got another question from Super Daniel Taylor. How long have you been a fan of Nickelodeon? Well, in all honesty, Daniel, that's a very good question. I have been a fan of Nickelodeon since like 1999. 1999. So maybe the time before SpongeBob SquarePants was airing. So yeah. Oh, Dave, we got a question from Portia Moore. How did you start working for Nickelodeon? I apologize if you already spoke about this. I just joined in.
Hi, Portia. That's a great question. And no, I did not already talk about this. So your question's perfect. And I love telling this story because I think that this story can inspire anybody who really wants a job and they're told that they shouldn't go after it. So let me give you the short version of the story. I had graduated from the University of Miami in 1996 and moved to Orlando to start working for Disney. So I was working for Disney at the ESPN club. I was doing some sports entertainment there because I wanted to be a sportscaster. That was my dream. I wanted to host football and baseball and do play-by-play. I never thought I was going to be a Nickelodeon host. That was never part of the plan. So I had been in Orlando for a few years, and I was having lunch with a friend of mine, and another friend came over and said, hey, did you guys hear Nickelodeon is having some auditions for a host of a sports show at Universal Studios? So I'm at Disney, Universal, 20 minutes away, and I had an agent at the time. And I thought, this is great because the Disney stuff I was doing was not on TV, but the Nickelodeon stuff was going to be on TV, and it was a sports show. So I figured I'm doing kid stuff here at Disney. I'm doing sports stuff also at Disney. I can certainly do this on TV. Of course I can. So I called my agent that day, and I said, hey, you got to get me an audition for this. I don't know too much about it. I know that it's TV. I know that it's sports. I can do it. Trust me. And my agent on the phone, and this is the like teaching part of all this story. My agent on the phone basically told me more or less that she didn't believe in me and that I wasn't qualified and I wasn't ready and I was too young and blah, blah, blah. And she didn't feel comfortable submitting me for an audition. She said, but let me think about it. Call me tomorrow, which happened to be the day of the audition. Call me tomorrow. I'll let you know. So I was obviously super upset about that. But I called the next day and I called the agent and I got her assistant and I said, hey, is she there? I don't even remember her name. And her assistant said no. And I said, well, okay, did she leave an appointment for me? Did she leave word? Do I have an audition? And the assistant said no. And so that was it. End of story. No audition. Can't go audition to be on TV. So I hung up the phone, super devastated, really sad, and also a little angry. And I made a decision right then and there that changed my entire life, my whole life. I decided I was going to go audition anyway. I didn't know how, but I was just going to go do it. So I grabbed my resume, and I grabbed my demo reel, my highlight tape, and I drove to Universal Studios. And I just figured it out. And I got to the gate, and I didn't lie my way in, but I just said, hi, I'm here to audition for Nickelodeon. And they said, what's your name? And I said, David. They said, you're not on the list. And I said, oh, I'm supposed to have an audition. And they let me through. So now I get up to where the auditions are. I still have no idea what I'm auditioning for. I haven't seen a script at a time. I don't know anything.
Wow.
I'm waiting outside the trailer for the casting director. And she comes out, and I walk up to her, and I just say, excuse me, I'm so sorry. But I love to audition for the show. I have an agent, but she didn't submit me. Is there any way that I could just please audition? She was so nice. She said, sure, come on in. She hands me a script. I look at it. I say, okay. I do it. She said, all right, try it one more time. And by the second time, I had it. I had to read it once. Now I got it. Second time, I nailed it. So she sits me down, and she calls my agent, and she screams at my agent on the phone. I've got this guy here. He's the best guy I've seen all day. He tells me you didn't send him. You didn't think he was qualified enough. Why should we ever call you again to send us clients if you're not going to send us good people? So that right there was like a victory. And the story could have ended there, and I would have been so happy. But it didn't end there. The casting director called me the next day and said, hey, Nickelodeon saw your stuff. We're flying you to New York for a second round of auditions for a callback. But go to New York. I auditioned in front of the vice president of the company, the executive producers. I come back to Florida. They call me, and they say, we loved you. When can you start? And they hired me. That was for Nickelodeon Games and Sports. That was before Slime Time. So they hired me to be their host, and then my agent calls me. And it's like, oh, Dave, I heard the great news. I'm so happy for us. This is so great for us. I fired her on that call. And I ended up having someone else represent me. So I guess the moral of that very long story is, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your heart that you're worthy of something, nothing's ever going to happen for you. So that's how I started on Nickelodeon.
Hard work always pays off. Hard work always pays off. Okay, we got everybody from Super Daniel Taylor. What are your favorite Nickelodeon shows?
Ooh. Who wants to go first?
Who wants to go first?
I guess I could go first. That would be All Grown Up, the spinoff to Rugrats. Watching All Grown Up, so that's how that is.
Personally, I'm not sure if I have a favorite Nickelodeon show, but if I were to say, I'd say Nick Arcade. That was a classic for me. What about you, Dave?
I would say SpongeBob. When Slime Time was just starting to hit its peak, and we were doing really well, that was when SpongeBob was starting. And it was really cool to be there at the beginning of that phenomenon. And I knew Tom Kinney pretty well. Tom is the voice of SpongeBob, and he would come on Slime Time from time to time. And he was also the voice of Patchy the Pirate. So I got to know Tom pretty well, and I was just so excited for those guys. So the SpongeBob is obviously this like life-changing show for Nickelodeon, and it's spanned 20 years now. So to be there at the beginning of it was really, really neat.
Sorry about that. I had a technical difficulty there.
It's okay. It's okay, dude. Anyway, oh my goodness. Hold on, guys. I have to get this.
So, Dave, Jason's been to Nickelodeon Studios, but I never have. And me and my brother have been fascinated with Nickelodeon Studios for years now. Jason, do you have any memories of going to Nickelodeon Studios?
Oh yes, I have actually. I had been in Nickelodeon Studios for what? I think it was about 11 when Nickelodeon Studios was still standing, and I was bawling when I heard about the story of the slime. The story of slime and how it just got dumped on everybody in the audience. But growing up from that time, when I've seen a lot of celebrities, the kids also were getting slime and everybody else was slime, it got me to overcome my fear. It got me to overcome my fear of slime. And speaking of the KTA, I have been a fan of the Nickelodeon since 2003. This is why I wore the KTA 2005 jacket and got the Board of the from 1999. So Dave, I gotta ask you this: how did it feel to be somewhat the spokesperson from the 2001 Kids' Choice Awards, recorded live from outer space?
That was a really cool time in my life. I think this interview is reminding me of all the really great things I got to do. And hosting the orange carpet, the pre-show for the Kids' Choice Awards in California was so fun being live, interviewing just star after star after star, and then throwing to Rosie O'Donnell to start the show. Yeah, it's great. It's it's Nickelodeon's big night, big afternoon, I guess. And to be asked to host the pre-show was a huge honor for me. And what I remember most about that day was when you do a live show that doesn't have a script and you're on a red carpet and you're not exactly sure who you're going to be interviewing next, it's tough and tiring. And you got to be on your game. Here you are, you're on your microphone, you're talking, you're doing whatever, and all of a sudden the Backstreet Boys walk over. And now you got to come up with some questions for the Backstreet Boys. And as soon as you're done with that, you look over here and, there's Christina Aguilera. And I come up with something to ask her. And it's an hour of that. And it's so much fun. And as a host, it's really challenging. So now every time I watch red carpet for the Oscars, for whatever, I just watch the host. I don't care about the guests. Sure, it's great to watch the guests, but I watch people host red carpet. So that's a good indicator of how talented someone is as a host, to be able to handle all that chaos and make it look like it's totally normal and there's no chaos.
I totally get that.
Okay, Dave, we got a question from Savon Waller. If Slime Time ever has a reboot, will you be the host again?
Absolutely. Sure. If they ask me, Mark Summers came back and did some Double Dare stuff recently, and he was doing around the country. I'd love to do Slime Time again. It was so much fun.
That would be so cool.
You guys should make it happen. Send in letters.
That would be so cool. Oh, Isaiah Smith asked this. What was it like being a Nickelodeon?
Best job I ever had. I've had a lot of jobs. I've worked in TV a long time, done a lot of great stuff, interviewed a lot of famous people, traveled the country. Nickelodeon was the best of all of it. It was a time in my life where I was just starting out, and I worked so hard. I just wanted to be the best host on television. I still feel that way, but it just meant everything to me. It was my whole life. And I made great friends, and Jessica and Jonah and the crew. And it was a magical place. What was so special about it in part was we would literally have kids and families that would fly in from around the country to be in our audience. They would arrange families would arrange family vacations around our show. And what an awesome responsibility that is, and what an honor to meet a family from Minnesota, and they say, hey, we watch you every day, and my kids had to come meet you in person, so this is this year's family vacation. What a cool thing. And I'm so blessed.
Okay, another question from Isaiah Smith, and this one's for Skeleton. No, wait. Sorry, that was the wrong one. Sorry.
It's okay.
All right, Isaiah asked you this, Skeleton. What was your favorite Nickelodeon game show?
That is so easy. Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Legends of the Hidden.
An epic job at hosting the show.
Wow.
It was awesome. The whole thing was awesome. Be on the show up there.
Okay, I think. First, I got a question for Dave. I think you might have answered this one, Dave. Let's see. When and how did you make the jump to public speaker? And was it a natural transition?
I started off at a young age as an actor. In middle school, I was in plays. I was in drama club. I was a proud theater geek growing up. I always loved it. I never really experienced any sort of anxiety, any sort of stage fright. So I know that I'm lucky because a lot of people do. So the day that I fell in love with broadcasting, and then I guess when you talk public speaking, maybe she means being on stage, which I'll get to. But if public speaking is everything, the day I knew that I wanted to be on TV it was my junior year in high school, and I was in journalism class. Now this is 1991 or something like that.
Wow.
So we were just starting this brand new thing called morning announcements in high school, which I'm sure all of your high schools have since had, but it was new for us. So I'm in a journalism class, and then they were like, okay, we're going to do this thing where we're going to start doing morning announcements. Who wants to be on camera? And I said, I'll be the anchor. That sounds fun. And that was all it took. One morning, sitting on a desk, reading a teleprompter about welcome back to school, happy Thursday, in third period, it's a bake sale. Whatever. I don't know what I said. Who knows what I said? But that's all it took. Me saying that, and then I went home and I told my parents, I said, I know what I want to do with the rest of my life. I knew it that day. I want to be a TV host or an anchor. And so I never looked back. And I've been really lucky because not only have I done a lot of TV stuff, I've been on stage a ton of times, I've given a lot of impactful speeches. I've been really blessed. I gave a TED Talk. And so I've had a chance to do some hugely meaningful things. And Portia, if you're asking the question because you're interested in public speaking, I would tell you just to do it, just to get on stage and speak. If you have anxiety about it, use that nervousness to your advantage, and just go out there and start talking, and you'll make mistakes and you'll screw up, but who cares? Big deal. You'll just keep getting better every time.
That's awesome. Well,
Agreed.
and from a few minutes ago, you mentioned that you still keep in touch with Vivian and then some of the other people on Nick Jazz. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What? Well, there's another person that I think you might still keep in touch with. Do you still keep in touch with Maddie Moralejo?
I don't, and Maddie and I always got along. We were really good friends. We just lost touch. I have no idea. He was living in California for a while, but I don't know. I don't know what he's up to.
What he is doing right now. But anyway,
funny guy. One of the hardest things about working with someone on camera when they're really funny is not laughing. Because if you laugh, then it ruins the take a lot of times. So with Maddie, I had to just do anything I could to not laugh. I would draw my feet up and crunch my hands up, just anything so I wouldn't laugh because he's so funny.
Anyways, I think we got ourselves another classic Nickelodeon Jazz clip for you.
Games and sports fans, it's time to find out what
we play today.
What's up, guys?
Be a little warned, guys. This gets a little off because this was recorded on a VCR. This was recorded on a VCR.
U.S. launch event, participants regarding on distance, creativity, and showmanship. Now that's showmanship. And finally, this weekend in Columbus, Ohio, is NHL Breakout Time. NHL Breakout is an output street and inline hockey club for kids. And that's what's in play.
I don't remember that.
Okay, on that moment, I feel really bad for you, Dave.
My guess, because I remember doing some of those. We did those at a summer camp, but I don't remember that. And my guess is that was a surprise for me. Sometimes they plan that out, so you're in on it. But I feel like I didn't know that was coming. And if I did know it was coming, I give myself credit for my acting skills because I certainly looked surprised.
Okay, I got a question from Stephanie. She's one of the members of the Play Along Gang, Dave. What is your most favorite Nick Jr. show? That's a tough one. I have grown up with a lot of Nick Jr. shows from the 90s to the early 2000s to this very day. But I don't know what would be my most favorite. It's a two-way tie between Gullah Gullah Island and Allegra's Window.
Wow.
Those were really good. Those were really good shows. Okay, guys, do you have any more comments for either of us? Do you have any more comments? Do you have any more questions for either of us? Because mostly Dylan and I have been answering most of the questions. But do you have any questions for Dave? Please leave them in the comments below. So, Dave. Oh my goodness, I'm running out of things to ask or what to say here, but. Man, I just cannot believe that you have actually came all this way to do what you're doing right now. next to being a Nickelodeon legend, to me, you're like an icon.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you want to say to your old Nickelodeon fans and your current fans of public speaking? Is there anything you want to say?
I just appreciate everybody so much for a lifetime of love that they've shown me for Slime Time. I still to this day get recognized by people who grew up watching that show, and it really means so much to me. It's not a cliche. If I'm at dinner and the waiter or waitress watched me, that used to make me feel old, but now it just makes me feel special. I think it's touching to know that I was part of a show that meant this much to so many people. What a wonderful thing to be able to say, to tell my child, to tell my grandkids that I got to be part of something that millions of people enjoyed. I am so grateful to all of you who watch the show and who say kind things about it. So thank you very much.
No problem, Dave. Okay, another question for Mason Daniel Taylor. What would you do if you meet JoJo Siwa in person? I would probably backflip out of here. I would probably backflip in excitement. Definitely. Next to being a fan of old Nickelodeon shows. Excuse me?
Can you backflip?
Oh yeah, I can. I can definitely backflip, but not in this room because.
No, don't do it now. I trust you.
Oh, and Portia says that they appreciate you.
Thank you, Portia. I appreciate that.
Another question from Stephanie. What is your favorite Gullah Gullah Island episode? Well, personally, my favorite episode from Gullah Gullah Island is "Move Your Body" from season 2. Okay, I don't know what else to say except thank you so much, Dave, for coming onto the screen here. You have been an inspiration to us all, a Nickelodeon icon from back in the day. You still hold that Nickelodeon blood in our hearts.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and I'll post it on social. So right on. There you go. Listen, it's been super fun, and honestly, I was so happy when you asked me to do this. I was honored. I'm thrilled, and thank you so much for this walk down memory lane. And if anybody wants to keep up with me, like Jason found me on social, I'm pretty easy. If you know my name, that's how you can find me, Dave Aizer, at Dave Aizer on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So yeah, reach out. We'd love to hear from any Slime Time fan.
Hold on, let me get that on. Let me get that on. Right here. That's where you go.
Look at that. Perfect.
That's where you find him.
I'm even on TikTok now. My wife is running my TikTok account, and I think I have like 2 followers. I just joined. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, go for it.
Oh, we got a question for you from Portia as well. Are you still a part of the comedy troupe in LA?
Hey, Portia is like asking me all these great questions. I love it, Portia. No, I did that when I lived in LA. It's the Groundlings, which is this legendary improv comedy troupe. Will Ferrell was part of the Groundlings, and that's just one name. There's like 30 people that were in the Groundlings. There's so many people, and I was so honored to be with them for 1 year. It's improv, and when people ask me what does it take to be a good host, one of the things I recommend is taking an improv class if you can, because it makes you quick. You have to be a good listener. You have to be able to react. You have to go with what the other person is saying. It's a lot of skills that you learn in improv. I'm not doing it anymore, but I learned so much in 1 year of improv training that I took with me for years and years ago.
See, okay, Mason Sanchez asked you that. Are you a voice actor?
Not really. I lived in LA. I did a little bit of that. I'm now pretty much a TV host. I host a football show here in Florida, and I'm a media and public speaking coach. And I'm also a speaker. I'm a keynote speaker. But I'm not doing much voice acting. I love voice acting. It's fun. You just do it from a closet with a microphone. You don't have to shave. You don't have to put on fancy clothes. You don't have to shower.
If you were still planning to do some more, if you plan to do more voice acting in the future, what show would you love to voice act to?
Gosh,
It doesn't have to be Nickelodeon or anything.
Like an animated show? I don't know. I don't really watch. But what I watch now on TV is vastly different than when I watched 20 years ago. So unless the national news or ESPN Sports Center needs a voiceover actor, I'm probably not the person. But I don't know. I think I could do like a few different accents. I could do like a British accent. I could probably do. I have like a good, those like those annoying sportscaster voices. I can do that. Like Michael Jordan passes the ball. Like I can do some of that stuff. If they need any voice actors for that.
That was really impressive. That was actually impressive.
I appreciate it.
Speaking of voice acting, Dave, I've always wanted to be a voice actor. I began going into this voice acting business ever since I created my very own character to this one show. Don't judge me when I say this, but the show is entitled My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Yes, I know, it's only meant for girls, but come on. Ever since 2013, it's been putting on teens and adult males as well. But anyways, that's how I got into voice acting. But I still keep in Nickelodeon.
Respond. It's not because I don't think it's cool. It's because I'm having some technical problems and I'm not hearing you that great. So I don't want you to think that I dismissed what you said. I just didn't hear you. So I apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
This is really exciting.
Video conferencing.
This is really exciting.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're gonna go for just one more question for me, Dave, or Skeletal. So, guys, this is the last time for you to answer your question or give us a question. If you have any questions you want to give to any one of us, please give it in the comments below because Dave has to split on out of here really soon. Okay? Well, we got one from Astoria Doodle. Are you gonna do the Prestige Band play-along? I don't know about that because due to the Prestige Band being very popular on Nickelodeon, I'm not sure if that's gonna be possible. I'm not sure if that's gonna be possible. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for coming onto this stream for the first episode of Nick Picks. I want to give a very special thanks to Dave Aizer. A very special thanks to Dave Aizer for being a very special guest for this episode. It's an honor to have you here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you guys so much. To be the first guest of any show is a big honor, so I really appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna split on out of here. Dave's got a client in a few minutes. Anyways, keep the love and happiness growing onto your future, and make your Nickelodeon blood keep going on.